Friends, in today's session we are going to continue our coordination topic, and today we are going to discuss the second phytohormone, which is gibberellins. In the previous session we ended up our discussion by discussing the commercial application of auxins, and in this session we are going to continue with the gibberellins. Now I hope if you remember about auxins, our discussion on auxins, we said auxin tend to work in association with other hormones, and when we are going to discuss about gibberellins, most of its function it exerts in presence of auxin. However, some of its function it can exert even in absence of auxins. Now, by introduction, gibberellins, or in short we can call it as gas, include a large range of chemicals that are produced naturally within plants. And as I told you in the previous session, that auxin is the group of chemicals. Auxin is not only a single chemical. So even gibberellins also is the group of chemicals. It's not a single chemical. Now let's see what made scientists to discover gibberellins. Now gibberellins, they are named from fungus called Gibberella, now called as Fusarium. It is Gibberella, and nowadays it is known as Fusarium. So why it took its name from Gibberella, from the fungus Gibberella? Walikuwa na observe growth ya plants, na especially hapo walikuwa naangalia kwenye rice pamoja na wheat, yani cereals, mazao ya nafaka. Kwa walichokiona ni kwamba in some of farms kulikuwa kuna abnormal growth of cereals, abnormal growth ya rice pamoja na wheat. Wakakuta kwamba they are longer as compared to the growth of the same plant in other farms. Kwa hiyo they came up and started investigating what caused the excessive elongation of the wheat in some of the farmers, and for that fact wakaja ku extract fungus ambayo waligundua kwamba hii fungus ndio inasababisha excessive elongation of cells in those cereal plants. Na hii fungus jina lake lilikuwa inaitwa ni Gibberella. So it is where the phytohormone gibberellins gain their name, and their major effect in plants is the cell elongation. They affect cell elongation. That's why they are named Gibberella, which is the fungus caused the excessive elongation of plant cells related to its major physiological effect in the plant. So the fungus Gibberella, which causes an abnormal elongation of plant, condition described as foolish seedling. The commonly known is gibberellic acid, GA. So we have a wide range of compounds which are collectively known as gibberellins, but they derive their name from the fungus Gibberella, and it is because this fungus causes the abnormal elongation of plants, and this condition is known as foolish seedling. And if you are going in your reference book, more especially biological science, you read this history of gibberellins in more detail, but this is the short description of how gibberellins they were discovered. Now we have the wide range of compounds which are collectively known as gibberellins, but again we have the skeleton of gibberellin, and as you can see, this is the basic structure, which is the skeleton of gibberellin, comprising of the cyclohexene, then cyclopentene. Again we have the cyclohexene there. So this is the basic structure of gibberellins. All compounds which are collectively known as gibberellins, they have this skeleton. However, they have their attached groups. So as you can see, we have the carbon number 1 up to carbon number 17, and we'll have different attached groups in this skeleton, which will make different categories of gibberellins. So for example, we have gibberellic acid 1. In this we have some additional groups like these which are attached, and they are shown in red. That means these are the one which make the difference between the basic structure of gibberellins and the gibberellic acid 1. We have also gibberellic acid 3, which also has the hydroxyl group. This group has for this one gibberellic acid 1, then this group also has a hydroxyl group there. So somehow you can say that they are similar but they are different. For example, here we have the single bond, but there in the gibberellic acid 3 we have the double bond at this position between the carbon number 1 and carbon number 2, based on the basic structure. Also we have the gibberellic acid 5, acid 15. Here we have the acetyl group. We have the methyl group, which is deprived for one hydrogen, remaining as CH2, and then you have oxygen. You have the carboxyl group here, and then other groups, they are similar. So the difference is just only on the attached groups. For example, also you can see in this compound you have the basic skeleton as usual, but you have the different attached groups which are attached to the basic skeleton to make different types of Gibberellins hormones. Now in terms of synthesis and distribution, this diagram just showed the chemical structure of Gibberellins. Now in synthesis and distribution, Gibberellins are abundantly found in young expanding organs, being synthesized in young leaves, seeds, bud, young leaves and seeds, then buds and root tips. They migrate after through xylem and phloem. So as I told you in the previous sessions, it is very important to know about the synthesis and distribution of every kind of phytohormone. So in terms of Gibberellins, they are found in young expanding organs. This is very important to know because the major effect of Gibberellins is to affect cell elongation, and because expansion or growth, one among the processes of growth is cell elongation. So Gibberellins, by affecting the cell elongation, they exert very important effect in expanding organs of the plant. So it is found in young leaves, in seeds, in buds and root tips, and it migrate, or its transportation is through phloem. Now let's start our discussion about the laws of Gibberellins in the plants. In the plants, Gibberellins, they promote cell elongation in the presence of auxin. So as I told you in the previous session that auxin, it tend to promote the function of other phytohormones, and more especially Gibberellins and cytokines. So Gibberellins as itself, it can't promote cell elongation, but in the presence of auxin, it promotes cell elongation. Another function, they promote fruit growth and sometimes induce parthenocarp. As we discussed in the previous session, that parthenocarp is the development of fruit or fruit setting in the absence of fertilization, and we said that this can be induced by auxin, and this was one among the commercial application of auxin, but also it can be induced by the Gibberellins. Gibberellins also, they have a very important effect on breaking seed dormants. We discuss later in this diagram how Gibberellins, they break seed dormants, but also they break bud dormants. As we said in auxin, that auxin, they promote the apical growth, but they inhibit the lateral bud growth. But in case of Gibberellins, they break bud dormants. So if we don't have the bud growth, then spraying the plant with Gibberellins will promote the lateral bud growth. Then they induce flowering in long day plants and inhibit in short day plants. Long day plants, these are plants which require sunlight for more time in order to flower. Kwa kuna baadhi ya mimea ambayo inahitaji muda mwingi wa jua ili iweze kutoa maua, na mimea mingine inahitaji muda mchache wa mwanga au jua. Kwa tunaposema long day, manake tunajua kwamba kwenye mwaka, in the whole year there is variation. kwamba sometime kunaweza kuwa kuna jua sana, sometime kunaweza kuwa kuna jua kidogo, and that variation in the wool here inapelekea sa variation kati ya different plants. So some of the plants zitafanya flowering when there is kuna jua kidogo afu giza sana. Some of the flowers zitafanya flowering muda ambao kuna giza sana afu mwanga kidogo. Kwa hiyo zinazofanya flowering wakati ambao kuna jua sana naita long day, zinazofanya flowering ambazo kuna mwanga kidogo naita short day. Kwa gibberellins, they induce flowering in long day plants, they inhibit in short day plants. Then they promote bolting. Bolting tunaita ni internodal elongation prior to flowering. More especially in cabbages, these gibberellins, they promote bolting in cabbages. So internodal elongation katika cabbages kabla hazijafanya flowering inakuwa kubwa, that is promoted by gibberellins. Also they inhibit the formation of adventitious roots. Kama tulivyosema, this effect is opposite to the auxins. Auxin yenyewe ina promote the development of adventitious and lateral roots, but the gibberellins tend to inhibit such kind of development. So let us end up here, and in the next session we'll see the diagrammatical explanation on the function of auxins. How the function of auxin, they can be explained diagrammatically, how auxin tend to break seed dormants and how auxin tend to promote the germination of seed, and this very important hormone in seed germination is how we will discuss it in the next session, also in growth topic. Thank you everybody. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and to share the link for this video. Also we are uploading the different session on physics, chemistry, biology and mathematics for O-level and A-level in this channel. Subscribe, share it. Don't forget to open the description below and click the link to join my Telegram group for discussion and for different aspects. Thank you everybody. Let I wish you nice studies.